was going to say then? Oh yeah. So if you take like the bigger landowners, and it's like, okay, well,
the TV is going to be on this week?
No, because the cables are ran through the wall.
Oh, okay.
I was saying earlier, that's why I stood in here for this.
No, it's okay. So when you get the new one, I mean when you get the cord, then
everything will be
okay as well.
These won't be in your way.
Oh, okay.
But if the whoever has the the land of the majority of stuff kind of is like, hey, let's pull our resources together and create this some sort of common defense or something like that.
Right.
And that's the thing too. It could be like external threats where it's kind of like you're sitting there and it's like, you're starting to get harassed by people trying to do shit to you. It's like, oh, hey, let me get together with my other buddies who own this and let's come up with, let's pool our funds and create like a militia to fight these people off or whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
You're just kind of out there in space.
That's true.
Hold on.
This gives me time to share anyway going through.
Yeah.
I don't have to be in such a big rush. I was on time for like everything today.
You were?
Yeah, it's like
congratulations.
Time just worked out today. Everything from work to going to the workout, and had a little time to do a little extra work, and then I made it here. I had because I like to eat before I come in, so I had got some boiled peanuts.
That's eating? That's a snack. I had a double cheeseburger, man. No.
Yeah.
My day was the same. I played in that 35 and up league over there at SEPA.
Okay, so that time would have had to work out.
Yeah.
How did today go?
We got like 30 balled. It was bad. So it was. We only had 5 guys, and it was just dysfunctional. We played against. It was like Pat was on the other team. Shane was on the other team. A couple guys I didn't really recognize either, but they were just a lot better than we were. It's just so hard to play with random people.
Yeah.
Who just don't really see the game the same way.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
Yeah.
It's rough playing with like random new people at like a new gym.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like a league is a little different because at least the faces are familiar every week to where like somebody can like even if I've never played with you before, if I'm in a league, somebody from another team might say, "Oh, shooter!" Like they're gonna know.
There's a little bit of common knowledge,
and you can pick up. Yeah, but like a brand new gym and nobody knows you, that's rough. Man.
No, it's a process.
Yeah.
Like you got to play. You got to play well.
Yeah.
And so people get an idea of, oh, this guy knows what to do.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to figure out these other people.
Yeah.
Like who can actually play.
Who can do something. What can they do?
Who looks like Tarzan and plays like Jane. Like there's a whole lot to sort out. And
Who
they
looks like Tarzan and plays like Jane.
Yeah, man. Jane's no good. You got to you kind of got to build this reputation of like, like, oh yeah, that dude could play. I put him the other day. It was good. Just it's funny. It takes a little time to set in.
No,
if you're not like just one of the like, you're not a great player.
Yeah.
Like if you're good enough to just walk in any time and be the best player in the gym.
No, we know what level of player we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when we're at that last run, when you're talking about Tarzan, look like plays like Jane, because the one guy I made a joke about, because he literally, I said, you look like one of Giannis's brother, because he looks like he was so like in shape.
Yes.
And then he comes on with all the excuses ahead of time, like, oh man, I just hurt myself and I'm not in shape and this and that. I'm like, but yeah.
Anybody that overtalks before the game begins is a problem. I mean, a problem for themselves.
Yeah.
They're not, anybody who's got a lot of like just extra talk about how they feel or what injuries are ailing them. Like, usually dudes that can play are just quietly confident.
Yeah.
They just know, all right, once we get started, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to take long for people to know. But dudes that got, like, they just talk and, just getting back, haven't played in a while, like, whatever. No. I always love the guy like that. There's always a guy like haven't touched the ball in 3 months. Like, then why are you here today? Go for 3 months in one day.
Go practice on your own time.
I was like,
we're trying to win and extend the day here.
You're coming out here like doing us a favor by not being ready to play? What are we talking about?
Oh man.
From the Sunshine State, the great state of Florida, and what does your Uncle Charlotte always say? The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida. I'm Big Bubba crossing my black car. It's booby traps and pit bulls crossing my backyard. I'm still strapped, boy, these handguns on Vanguard. I like going against the grain cause my hand hard. Bae, I used to thug hard to see this crack hard. I don't duck nothing but the motherfucking task force. Me and two root running shit, we like the fat boys. Paid cash for it, so I try to and fast forward. I put it all in your face like you asked for. Most of you love frontin' like the dashboard. I get it chalked out like the blackboard. I got the ghetto off glass like the backboard. Most of my niggas ride till it ain't no gas for. We been outside like ain't no map for. Been outside like ain't no map for.
I swear to God, these motherfucking jets in Florida is different. Man, I was at this house the other night. Gave her little son one melatonin, thinking this little motherfucker gonna go to sleep. Hell nah, the little motherfucker ain't go to sleep. I ended up giving this little the whole goddamn bottle. He ate them all. It was up all motherfucking night. I ain't getting
I'm in all white ones. Picture could get me a Cy Young. We feel like nuns. No f***s giving like Spice One. We feel like bums. Don't change that I might run. Feel like buns. Shit sit when the price jump. I got white bumps. These bags kill it price plump. You only die once. I know you a snake with a sliced tongue. I can't trust you. I'ma dust you. Ain't no checking temperature. It's f*** you, then it's f*** you. These laws I'm stuck to. You know how many 12-12s I run through? My get cut, but my girlfriends get cut loose. My get hit like kung fu. I love the streets, but they never told me I love you.
Yeah, I already know. I'm straight from Florida, G. You know, bottom of the motherfucking map. Home of motherfucking Uncle Luke. Home of Trick Daddy. Home of Kodak Black. Nothing but gold teeth, wigs, and motherfucking sticks. You already know. Bottom of the map. FLA. Shaped like a motherfucking pistol on you. Have you, want it? I ain't got no damn business at church. Cause all I be doing is looking at damn prints in that bitch. I'm talking about, man. You know how up it is? Like, you ever got hard in church before? Like, ain't that some shit? You get hard in church when you in there, like, you know you wrong. You know you wrong, but...
From the Sunshine State, the great state of Florida, and what does your Uncle Charlotte always say? The craziest people in America come from the Bronx.
Welcome back. You're back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, Coma Sports, Music, and Mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all that I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All right. We have a good show for you guys today, as always. All right. We're going to be talking a little bit about, and where are we at here? Topics. We're going to be talking about the NFL trade deadline that came and went. Okay. We're going to be talking about some NBA storylines with Ja Morant and a couple of these other guys here. Good little political conversation today. All right. Some boxing. All over, a lot of this good stuff, man. We're all over the place. We're diverse today.
We're diverse most days.
Yeah, we're diverse most days. That's correct.
Yeah.
Diversity. That's what we...
Variety, the spice
Variety.
of life.
There you go.
Well, some cretins cut diversity. We embrace and lean into
it. You know what I was thinking about today?
I do not.
Is, as you get older, it gets
talking about yourself.
Yeah, but this is for everybody though. I know it gets a little more tricky and interesting to maintain friendships. And I think about from my original group of friends, like growing up. When I think about that group, it's probably like one of those guys I talk to on a weekly basis, one on a monthly basis, and everyone else is like, and what's interesting is a lot of times it's not even like it's not even that something happened to where like, oh, I'm not friends with you more because you stole my money or you screwed my girl or XYZ.
Or did both.
Or did both. And you know, sometimes, you could grow apart. You know, I hear that a lot. But also what I think about is like, you know, depending on how long you're talking about this friendship, you know, spans from, it's like, damn, you know, you meet so many new characters in life as you get older. You experience so many new experiences, so many new jobs. It's just so many different life events that goes on, and it's just like the people from your past just slowly kind of just go, you know, they kind of just wither away a little bit. You know,
No, I agree. I mean, like one of the underrated elements of friendship is proximity. And it's like when you have a friend, you know, of longer duration that is not around you.
Yeah.
You're not really sharing and creating moments.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, if they're living in Atlanta right now or whatever, it's like, yeah, I might check in on the phone or text or whatever, or, you know, comment on some Facebook stuff, but it's not like we're hooping together. It's not like we're going to this event together, and you don't create those, you know, kind of ongoing well of memories with those people. And by contrast, there are, you know, if you're living your life, there are people that you are doing those things with, and you create like new bonds and new memories with those people. It's one of those things, and I've lived it a lot, where it's just like, you know, you have like coworkers. So when you're at a job, you know, you tend to maybe, you know, develop a couple friends there. But then when you're not at that job anymore, you know, hey, yeah, we should stay in touch or whatever. It just doesn't really happen like that.
It never happens like that.
You know,
it never happens like that.
Then like cycles of life stuff. So like, you know, when you when you have like the younger kids, and it's like you can't really go out and do much because like the kids are like a toddler and whatever, you know, then you get to the point where it's like, okay, we might even have kids in the same ages or whatever, but my kids are playing soccer and your kids are playing football, and it's just like, you know, every weekend you're doing that and I'm somewhere else doing this. You just don't have that.
And then like in my case, some of my friends began to have kids,
right,
and I don't have any.
And
so it's like, it's just, I'm not, you know.
Their life is revolving around their daughter's volleyball and whatever, and like, that's not your concern.
Yeah.
Like, you need to find people that can hang out and do your stuff that you're doing.
Yeah. You know, like, you know, I love Carver's. Carver's is my guy. But it's not many, you know, I'm just not looking forward to going to 5-year-old basketball junior Magic games on a Saturday. That's a prime weekend day for single Bubba.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. Single Bubba. Yeah, no, and that's it. Like you said, it's not a falling out. There's no beef. And like sometimes, I mean, I've had it where sometimes it's like you're friendly with somebody and then you kind of fork off, and then sometimes situations change, and then you have reason to reconnect. You know, and now you're kind of doing, you know, maybe you're just, you know, back in the same circle of doing stuff, and you're seeing each other a couple times a week or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just natural. I've come to realize that, like, I don't like the whole notion of like best friends and this and that. Like, I don't really get that as like an adult. I just feel like you're living your life and you're going to have people come into it, you know, sometimes briefly, sometimes for a long time. And again, if you're not the person who's having falling outs with everybody, it's like it cycles around. Like, you know, you don't have to be super close, but like, you know, you may not see somebody for 5-6 years, and then like you have a reason to run into them, and it's cool to catch up. You know?
Two things. One, the best friend, bestie thing. I think that's like a women generated that term and thing. I don't know. I know men use it, but I don't know. I don't think it's something that we like harper on. Like, cause I never like even thought about that in the sense of like, who is my best friend or whatever.
Yeah.
Aside from the T-Mobile thing when you had to pick 5, you know. I'm showing my age.
I do think some guys though, like they'll have the like, that's my brother there type of thing.
Brother, okay.
And
So that's,
like,
I guess that's
and
essentially
like,
the
and again,
same.
if you know, and again, depending on like your mentality about it, it's like, you know, all right, well, you know, are you ready to fight for your brother if you have to fight? Like, what do we, you know, some
The
people
level.
live that. That's their life. You know, like, hey, if you insult, you know, this guy, like, I'm insulted too, and we're throwing hands.
Yeah.
You know, that's not really been my thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I do think some guys kind of have a little bit of that bond.
Yeah.
You know, in a way, and it's similar to the, you know, female best.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And the second thing is, you know, the catching up part, you know, like I wish, like for example, like Bethune-Cookman homecoming is like, it's like the homecoming for HBCUs period is perfect for that setting. It's like, okay, you know, because you went to school with these people, you form such a close bond because you're 17, 18, 19, everybody's learning, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when school is over, like you said, you say you're going to keep up against, but it doesn't happen like that. So what homecoming provides and allows is that, yeah, you catch up this once a year, and it's like, oh, well, you know, your kids and okay, your life and this and that. We 3-4 days, we talk about it and we party like old times, and then we go our separate ways.
Yeah.
I wish there was like a homecoming, but just for regular life people, like
Yeah.
friends that you know what I mean,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
once
yeah,
a year, because you know I understand our lives are different and we're doing different things, but like once a year, let's all meet up in the same place. I'm not gonna do 100 different homecomings now,
Right,
but I'm just talking about let's all meet up in one general spot. Let's get this, you know what I mean? Because it is nice to see people that you genuinely like, or,
Yeah.
you know.
But that's so two things to that. Like honestly, like you know, if you're ambitious enough, you could probably do something.
You could probably get
You know,
put something together.
I mean, you get Ronnie involved and bring the people together.
Yeah.
You know, if you're ambitious, you can pull it off. The other thing about it, though, I also think is like you could have connections with people in life and genuine connections, but they're not all compatible. It's like, you know, I could enjoy like these two people and then those three over there, but like if we're all together, because that, you know, that's probably not going to be like a great mix, you know, because I think it's healthy. Different friends have like different roles for you.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you may have, you know, like, again, you're not like a person who just has like one interest.
Yeah.
You have other interests. And so it's like, you'll have some friends that like, oh yeah, whatever, you know, whatever. These are the guys I hoop with.
Yeah.
But then there's other people I play soccer with. It's like, it's not the same group, you
Yeah.
know, and it's whatever, you know, and it's, you know, just if you're like a complete well-rounded person, you're going to have friends in different areas. So it's not always compatible to say, hey, let's get everybody together in the room and
1000%.
hang out, you know, just the vibe and the energy's off.
Yeah.
And sometimes like, you just know, like if you, like with certain friends, you just know there's going to be a certain energy. And it's like, if you add anybody to that, it's probably going to throw it off.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of those things.
Nah, 100%. No, that's good stuff. Yeah. All right.
I think at the end of the day, it is good to reach out and connect with people.
Yeah.
It's healthy to like, you know, check in on people.
Yeah.
See where they're at.
I need to do that more.
Yeah.
I just don't do that as much as I should. Yeah. And you have that thing too where it's like, because some people are like, oh, they're not going to reach out to me, I'm not going to reach out to them. And it's, I don't think in that way of terms. I just don't get around to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, unless something, and I know a lot of people have some negative views of social media, but for me, I value that. Like, like I may not be thinking about a person or whatever, and then they'll post something, and then you know, oh, whatever, I'll ask a question, I'll hit them up, you know, just check in, and like, if that thing didn't pop up, I you know, probably would have gone another 6 months, year or two, you know. But I think that's, you know, that's one of the values that I like out of social media. Somebody posts something, they're maybe in an interesting place or seem to be doing something wild, and you just, you know, hey, what's going on, man? Like,
facts.
It's cool.
Facts. You're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. All right. Let's get into this. Okay. So the NFL trade deadline, you know, has come and gone. So what I want to do is we want to talk about some of the, you know, the winners and losers. But, you know, really, this year it was really only a couple of characters that really were involved that even worth noting, which is the New York Jets, the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. And for example, you know, the Jets, you know, they traded away Sauce Gardner. They traded away Quentin Williams. Yeah. Two prominent defensive names in the NFL.
For sure.
Okay. Got back a lot of trade assets, first rounders, second rounders. Yeah. Okay. Quentin Williams went to Dallas, which was interesting because they pretty much acquired Quentin Williams for about 80%, 90% of what they let Parsons go for. And Parsons is the better player.
Right.
So not sure how. I mean, you know, Quentin Williams is a heck of a player, but it's like you could have just squeezed and kept Michael for that.
Yeah.
And then You have Sauce, okay, who goes to the Colts.
Yeah.
Interesting about that is, first of all, I think the Jets did a wonderful job on both trades. What's interesting for me is the Colts, because literally a couple of days actually after Daniel Jones has his worst game of the season and remnants of his past that everyone knows about. It's not a secret.
Right.
They go all in.
Yeah.
Because they trade away and also for Sauce, Sauce is a guy who, outside of his rookie year, he hasn't been like this great. He came in the league with a lot of a lot of fodder, but after his rookie season, he's led the league in like holding penalties and all of this, and so I'm not sure, but the Colts gave away first round, second round pick, so they go all in on this trade. Now, I'm not mad at that. It depends on how well Sauce plays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then you look at it though. Again, the Jets have been pretty poor since his rookie year. And so, how many of the penalties or maybe some of the stats that aren't flattering are the result of just being on a defense that's just not very good, on a team that's not very good. And if you get him on a better performing team, he kind of tightens up his game, and maybe what's asked of him is a little less than what the Jets were asking of him, to do play by play, and you get a good season. But it's definitely a move where it's like, hey, we're here to go try and win something.
Yeah,
we're trying to win now.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know without knowing that Sauce might have been the best available corner in the market. Other teams with better corners are probably not looking to move them. They're pretty valuable assets.
Yeah.
And so when you get to the Jets, who are a dumpster fire, they're going to shake it up. They know nothing good's happening. Try and get something positive out of these players with some picks and some assets, and it makes sense. But not a lot of teams were in that particular position, so they probably looked at it as, this is the best corner we can get. He does have some attributes they like, and we're trying to go all in as best we can. And as bad as Daniel Jones was, they still moved the football. They still, at the end of the day, it was a closer game. They didn't get completely blown out of the water with the mistakes. But the thing with Daniel Jones and people that don't trust him are that when it matters, he's going to find a way to make some bad plays.
Yeah. And
that's probably not going to change. Deep down, I don't feel it's going to change.
Yeah.
But you were still productive even on a bad Daniel Jones day. You got it to a 1-score game and maybe had a chance. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And for any NFL fan, that is the advantage for going with a quarterback like Daniel Jones, is you can load up around him with guys like Sauce and Jonathan Taylor and all these other guys. I'm sure in the offseason they may make another move or two along with extending Daniel on a reasonable contract.
Right.
So I understand that is now on a loser side, before I get to the smaller moves here, is the Miami Dolphins, because they should have been the first one, not the Jets. Like, they should have done a fire sale.
Yeah.
They should have done the fire sale. The Jets is like in all the sports, man, but football, NFL, and NBA for sure, man. I'm such a huge fan of fire sales when you know what your team is.
Yeah.
Because you have to reset the team sooner rather than later. Like, you know what I mean? It just makes so much sense, especially when you have a couple of players that you can acquire a lot for. You know what I mean? Now, the Miami Dolphins, you already have a Tyreek Hill who you won't be able to move because of his injury. You have to get Waddle out of there. Like, you could have gotten.
What is the market for Waddle though?
There would be a huge. We saw other receivers being moved on the same day.
Yeah.
Like Jacoby Myers, and then you got the Saints guy Rashid.
Yeah.
Like, the teams need pass catchers. Buffalo was making calls. Teams need pass catchers.
Yeah.
And so they would have gotten a good amount for Waddle. But then they have a couple of these other guys. They have the running back. They could have moved A-Chain. The Chiefs made a call for A-Chain, and they made a call for Breece Hall. Like, there are teams that are interested in these guys, but you just have to.
Were they told no, or was the asking price too high?
Asking price too high.
Okay.
Asking price is too high.
All right.
You know.
So I mean, if that's accepting that is true, though, those guys were available. Just the Dolphins were seeking too much.
I don't think they were available. Like, I don't think they
You think
made
they made
Waddle.
unreasonable-
I think they answered calls, as anybody would do due diligence in that, but they weren't available.
Okay.
And I think they should have been on the block. They should have been making calls, not just fielding calls. You know what I mean? Because, like, what is the answer? You're going to roll into this next season. I mean, you said you think they're going to get rid of the coach after the year.
Yeah, it'd be hard to imagine him staying.
It's right now. You tear it down and you sit Tua, and then you look to offload him in the offseason and draft the quarterback. You offload Waddle and hopefully have additional draft compensation, and you just tear it all down now. And you know what I mean? Versus like a team like, okay, so you take a bad team like, for example, the Raiders.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think a teardown is what doctor ordered for them. It's just, I guess it is different situations. Not like every bad team.
But in saying that, why? What do you draw the difference with the Raiders?
Because the Raiders, they have been bad for a couple of seasons, so they have been acquiring talent, right? So when you have a team with enough talent to be a playoff contending team, it's clear that the Raiders, they swung and missed on Geno. That's what happened there. They swung and missed on Geno.
But arguably, they haven't had a quarterback in forever.
Yeah.
Like you look at the assets. I mean, to me, like the biggest asset they probably could have moved would be Crosby.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of close to his peak of powers.
100%.
He's been around long enough that it's just like he might the downside probably isn't that far off. Versus like the other two big pieces is Brock Bowers and Genty, which are literally first and second year guys.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't make sense to move on from them so much.
No.
But Crosby's the big guy. He's established in the league. He could probably command a pretty good price. And then you do have whatever the next quarterback is, or if there's a regime change, it's like, okay, well, you got a running back and you got a nice tight end, and we can build off of that. We got to find the right quarterback to match. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get the fire sale, but on some levels, I don't. Like you talk about the Dolphins, like A-Chain probably has a couple more good years before you start to see some wear and tear. And Waddle, again, he's a fairly young player as well. It's like you're kind of just jettisoning these guys unless somebody overpays.
Man. Running backs and receivers. Running backs, you can find in your backyard on accident, like without even like searching for these guys. You can find them, you get rid of A-Chain at the deadline no matter what. I understand playing hardball for whatever, a few weeks, a couple of months, but at the deadline you just say, okay, the next person who calls, you shake hands and you hang up, whatever they say. You know what I mean? Now Waddle, you do your due diligence there because he's a a receiver, but what have you. But you got to get rid of him. And they also have that the D lineman that does very well. Like you just do a fire sale with the Dolphins, because when you come into the next season, like I said, you have all these guys that you're paying all this money to, and you're a bad team. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a coach is not going to come in there. A coach and a GM is not going to come in, and next season the Dolphins are going to be like all of a sudden this good contending playoff team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They have to start over that process. So that's just the thing there. I mean, that's my opinion. We'll see. Because I could be wrong. Maybe you do get a coach in there, but maybe Bill Belichick comes in there next year with his hot girlfriend and
barely win an ACC game.
But again, some other small moves. Jacoby Myers goes to Jacksonville.
A week after playing the Jags.
A week after playing, he must have made an impression.
Yeah.
So you have our guy Travis. He's out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So they need some receiving help. Jacoby is a seasoned vet. He'll be fine over there.
Yeah.
And again, Shaheed, he goes over to the Seahawks, gives Sam Darnold another receiving threat. I told you a couple of weeks ago, I think the Seahawks are a serious contender over there in the NFC.
They're looking the part.
I love that defensive line. I think that's the best defensive line in football. and Sam is playing well. He hasn't had a pumpkin game yet, like Daniel has had. So we'll see when that comes. I don't think he's going to play perfect the whole year. All right, but yeah, I mean that's all I have. All in all, I thought it was whatever.
Yeah,
type
for
of
sure.
trade. You know,
I mean, at the end of the day, like the only Seattle helps themselves, I think, and I do think the Colts probably helped themselves a degree in the immediate.
I'm not totally out on Sauce. I just need to see how he's going to.
Yeah,
perform.
but I think those two. But like Dallas isn't going anywhere. The Jets are not going anywhere. And New Orleans ain't going anywhere. So every other partner to any of these trades, it was really fire sale or inconsequential either way.
Yeah, no, but the Jets are loaded, man. The Jets are loaded. If they get a guy in there that can make some picks.
The last guy they had in there was Bill Parcells that did any good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets are shit.
Yeah, they are.
So I don't know. I'm not, I think the owner's a bit meddlesome and stupid. I don't think Aaron Glenn's the guy. I don't know who's making the front office decisions.
It looks like they're going to, let Aaron come back next year and see what happens.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It is interesting. I mean, he's made a ton of mistakes in this, in this season here.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Okay. From one NFL story to another here, you have the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. Now, Jacoby Brissett has come in and played pretty well, man, for the Cardinals. And Kyler Murray has been injured, but also just hasn't, been, the guy that they thought they drafted with the first round draft pick there at quarterback. So the question is, and what a lot of people are wondering, is like when Kyler is ready to go, do you stay with the hot hand in Brissett, or do you turn the team back over to Kyler? That's sort of the topic of discussion right now.
This, they put him on the IR take him out for 4 weeks, basically. This is the beginning of the dismissal of Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think he ever sort of, I'm not saying he's not going to ever play again for the Cardinals, but he never comes back as a franchise guy. Yeah. They've begun the process of moving on from him. This is one of those things. And so I think what they're doing is they're putting Murray on the shelf for another 4 weeks, seeing, without any competition, or basically punting that question for a month, who starts, letting Jacoby rock out. They are playing pretty well with him. And if they continue to play with it, let's say they go 3-1 over that 4-game span, I'm inclined to think that they'll just ride out the season with them. Whether and how they do that, whether they kind of get 4 weeks down the road and say, Kyler's still not right, we're going to shut him down, or whether they take him off the IR and just designate him the backup. The easier way is to kind of extend the injury, to be honest, politically for everybody. But the process to move on from him has begun, and as long as Brissett plays well and the house doesn't fall in on him, I expect him to probably start the remaining games. Because, again, then you get into that weird window where it's like, okay, maybe Brissett's not playing that well, but maybe there's only 3 games left, and why put Kyler Murray out in harm's way?
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, yeah, but the process of moving on from him is underway.
I think it is the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Jacoby has come in and played well. Now, I looked up a couple of things here. The Cardinals are averaging about 26 points a game with Jacoby. They averaged 18 with Kyler. Also, Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride, their 2 top receiving threats, have just looked night and day with Jacoby, and even in the loss that they had. The loss that Jacoby even had was when that running back we talked about on the show when he went and dropped the ball
before the goal. Yeah.
Jacoby will have a better record than he played phenomenal in that game.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's like, Kyler, when that contract came out, we talked about it on the show as well.
Yeah.
Because when Kyler was coming out of college, I knew he was really short, but I was kind of in on him. I was like, well, this is interesting. I mean, he has some pop. He's athletic. He can get the ball down the field. But when I became out on Kyler is when they extended his they gave him the extension on the contract, and they put all of these stipulations in there.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that before. And
Yeah.
I said, this is a huge red flag. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. If you got to tell a guy, hey, you have to study this amount of hours per week or we're going to void your contract. You can only play the video game this amount of hours. What? What are you talking about?
No, and that's one of those things that if you're writing up that contract and you're going over these clauses, like you would have hoped at some point somebody just goes, "What the hell are we doing? If we have to put all this in the contract, we don't have a guy worth this money." And that's what's happened. He is not a guy worth the money they paid him in the contract. And the fact that they went through all this nonsense with the contractual language, you cannot make somebody something they aren't.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. It's a road to failure every time. You have to identify the guys that are truly what they seem to be, and pay those guys. Put those guys at the front of your boat, because you cannot I remember when I was coaching at Trinity Prep back in the day, we had the varsity team, and we had a guy that, he never missed a workout. He was, hey, coach, what are we doing today? All the verbal stuff. But then when the real games happened, and we made him captain, but when the real games happened, he wasn't the guy. He wasn't close to being the guy. He just didn't really have that. And it's like we fell for the wrong stuff and made him captain, which was a big regret. You have to identify the right stuff. Coach K wrote a book, like every team has a heart. And if you're doing the best with your team, you're letting the heart of your team lead. And it may not always be your best player, but it's your truest performer. The person who genuinely gives a shit, the person who shows that with performance day in and day out, and who's not afraid of the moment, who deeply cares about what's going on. And like I said, it's not always your best player, but you cannot be fooled by, and talk yourself into something. And the Cardinals, that's what they did. They didn't have a real leader. They didn't have a guy that's the face of franchise guy. And they tried to, clause him into that with all of this bullshit. And it doesn't work that way.
It just doesn't work. And I'm going to tell you something else too. Hindsight, whatever, but if I'm that agent at that time, I probably talked Kyler into taking less money to just not to have to deal with that clause. Because now that is a cloud over him. Like no matter what, especially for people like other teams and stuff.
Yeah, no. If what we feel is happening, if they're moving on from him,
yeah,
the market's not gonna be great because of that. That is part of his legacy in the league right now.
It just is, man.
And again, buyer beware. Hopefully they will. Like they're not gonna, fall on this guy again and be like, yeah, man, this is, we got it figured out. He's gonna do the right stuff. He's gonna come to our meeting and say all the great stuff we want to hear. It's like, no, dude, your last team had to put clauses in a contract that nobody else has because at the end of the day, you're a lazy turd. It is what it is, man. But I also think like again, combination of being a short guy, being an athletic guy, like he plays the game in like a different way, in a different rhythm.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that it can't be successful, but it's just a lot harder, and when you get a Jacoby Brissett in there who's, kind of releasing the ball on time,
a little more traditional,
and doing those sorts of things, like suddenly your receivers probably look a little bit better because they're not running a route, having to break it off and figure out what the other guy's going to do. Now, I mean, certain people historically find that sort of deep chemistry where that kind of works. Obviously, you talk about like Pat and Travis, and a lot of their stuff is not based off of the written play,
the backyard stuff.
But yeah, that's that works for some people, but not everyone.
But what that comes into play? The number one strength for Marvin Harrison coming out of the draft was his route running abilities. Yeah. Okay, and the thing about Travis Kelce is he's a great what's the term I'm looking for? But he can make shit happen. Like, you know what I mean?
He can improvise.
He can improvise. And those are just two totally different things. When your ultimate skill set is route running, and that's beautiful for a receiver. You know what I mean? You need on-time scheduled throws. Like when you make that break out of an in cut, like you need that ball right there. Kyler is going to, he's going to move around. It's just like I don't think like a Caleb would work with a great route runner. Like he just loves
who struggled with him? Keenan Allen.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And Keenan Allen is
another one of those
route runner. He's he played a big chunk of his career with like Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
And guys that that just get it out on time
exactly.
and do that.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I think you're 100% spot on there. Yeah, I mean, you can see it. It's just, a guy who runs pristine routes. And the pristine routes are intended to get you open at a specific window of time.
Yeah. You
have to, whether it's 3-step, 5-step, 7-drop, roll, whatever, your route is connected to the quarterback's movement to create a window to throw in. And if the quarterback doesn't throw in that window on that time frame, your pristine route doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's kind of your reactionary ability to break a route and flow with the quarterback or move in a way that the quarterback can read what you're doing, and that's a whole different skill set.
It just is, man. It just is. Well, we'll see how that goes. I like Jacoby. I'm rooting for Jacoby, so I don't mind watching him play. I mean, especially if he's going to be playing well like this. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on the Cardinals over there. All right. Let's see here. Let's switch sports here. There's another big story that's going on here, and that is in the NBA. All right, so Ja Morant, I actually texted Pink, I think the other day, or either we talked in person, I don't know.
Yeah.
And about Ja Morant, he had a rough game, and they asked him after the game, and he's like, "Oh, ask the coaches or whatever about it." And so a big story came out about a guy who kind of like a reporter canvassed the league and asked several executives like, "Hey, what would be the market on Ja?" And he said that like 90% of the league is kind of like out on him. But there were two teams that were like, "Hey, that actually asked Memphis, what would a trade look like?"
Right.
And those two teams, surprisingly, Pink, one was the one was the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Why is that surprising?
I thought that was interesting. And Heat. Timberwolves and Heat. The Heat, yeah, I can see they've been chasing a star since LeBron left. They're just
quintessential star fuckers.
They just can't help themselves.
No, they can't help themselves. Yeah.
And but the Timberwolves, that's a dangerous move. That is a dangerous move.
This is the same group of people that brought us the Gobert and Towns move.
And the Julius Randle which hasn't been terrible, but at the time it was a little dangerous.
That Minnesota as an organization struggles for an identity. They're not confident in who they are.
That's what this screams right here.
Yeah,
that they would, if they would entertain this.
Yeah, and they also feel like they're getting like they made the conference final run 2 years ago, lost to Dallas. They didn't get that far last year. They feel like they like 2 years ago. It felt like they were the up and coming team.
Yeah.
They're the team. Now you have you go one round less. You don't have anything great going on right now. They're not a bad team,
right?
But there's no specialness going on there.
And you see what
you are desperate for relevance. You're desperate to contend, and they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. So a flash move like this kind of speaks to them. And it's like, yeah, we're in. We'll fuck up the league with these guys. like that's the mentality that they have, and I think that's kind of. It's not what I would do, but I understand where they are. They have a particular insecure place in the hierarchy of the league.
Now,
they're also very cognizant nobody really wants to go there.
Yeah, like in a free agent type of situation.
Yeah, they're very aware of that.
Now, on Ja specifically, there's a couple of things going on with Ja. Now, we know the off the court, all of the gun and the strip club and the emojis and the hand motes and all of that.
Slapping teens.
All of that foolishness. We understand all of that. So that is a piece of that, of Ja Morant, that the baggage he's going to have to carry for the next couple of years and stay clean of that. All right. Secondly, though, injuries. Like, you have to, like, Josh, not a guy who's playing a ton of games in these seasons.
No,
he hasn't been a healthy guy. That's second. That's two big things.
And look forward, like his body type, his game. If he's already getting injured, it's not going to go well.
Well, that lends to my third point. As young as he is, we're already seeing diminishing returns. I mean, like, he's upset with the coach about, like, he wants to play more minutes and things like that. But they're like, hey, we're trying to keep you healthy for a long. It's kind of like that Embiid thing.
Yeah.
And then also like he's shooting the second worst field goal percentage in the entire NBA.
Really?
Ja Morant is. His at the rim shot percentage has gone from 52% in his earlier career to in the low 20% just at the rim.
Yeah.
He's always been a bad shooter. Like, his 3-point percentage is terrible now, but it's always been bad. That's not alarming. What's alarming is how athletic he was and getting to the rim and at the rim.
Yeah.
How efficient he was, and now he's not.
Yeah, I mean, he was athletic, fearless, creative, all those attributes.
Yeah, creative. Yeah, that's a great word.
When you kind of, maybe he loses some of that. Maybe he just has missed so much time. He's not, he's not really in rhythm, and he has more self-doubt than he ever has.
Of that too.
I think there's a lot of things going on with him, and none of them good.
Yeah.
Even like with the kind of pawning it off on the coaches, ask them, whatever. I think the really great players and the great players who have that exceptional level of confidence, they figure it out themselves. They're not looking, it's like, just get the coach out of my way. I'll figure this out. They're not, ask those guys. That's just not something that you hear from a great player who's in his peak mental place. And I think that, all of the stuff that happened with him off the court, I think it kind of shook him. And he's quite literally, between those suspensions and the injuries he suffered, he's missed a shit ton of games.
Yeah.
There's just not like a game rhythm of, playing a bunch of basketball at a high level and stepping on the court night after night and knowing you're the guy.
Yeah.
Which that's what he believed at the height of his powers, and those days are gone. And why would you want to trade for him, particularly, and pay him a lot, give up a lot and pay him a lot, because with his health record, with his disciplinary record, do you really feel that if you sign him and extend him or something, that you're really going to get your money worth out of that? I think he's probably in one of those places too where, he's not far off from like a Russell Westbrook in terms of like and Russ did a lot more for a lot longer time. But he's almost like fast tracking to that point of your career where it's just like, there's not really a great market for you. Somebody eventually takes a flyer on you, and then if it doesn't work out, they kind of blame you for it. And
the Russ thing is something. That is. I want to get to Russ in a second, just quickly on Russ. But to finish up on Ja, there were a couple of teams that I said, okay, maybe it would make sense. I don't like Minnesota. I think because I think there's another move they can make to become competitive that has less, whatever.
And they'll have to give up something of value to get
anyway. Yeah. So that's why I don't like that. Like, if it was just simply adding Ja to that, you could talk me into that. But yeah. Okay, now I think Ja can make a difference in Orlando. Like, the play would have to improve a little bit there, but I think they just haven't had a point guard and got since Darryl Armstrong, and I think he could fit well over in Orlando. What do you think about that before I move along here?
Orlando is bad.
Yeah,
and they're becoming not entertaining because they're so bad. And if you're just looking for an injection of enthusiasm and energy, like, it probably might make some sense.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you take a step back out of that desperation, I don't think he moves the needle with this roster. I don't. I mean, Orlando went into this having been in the playoffs like back-to-back years, but not progressed.
Right.
The what needs to happen is you get in the playoffs and you get to a second or a conference final round. I don't think he helps you get there. I think he's almost too volatile.
I think if you put the ball in his hands, get it out of Paulo's a little bit more, and just allow Paulo to be like this battering ram, pick and roll, give him a guy that he can pick and roll with. I think he makes Paulo better. I think he makes that team better because he's still a pure point guard who can score.
And I mean, assuming you wouldn't move Bane in the move.
No, you're moving Franz.
No, well, the reason they have a relationship. They've played together.
That's another. So I didn't even whatever. Yeah, so that's another thing there.
You could say maybe they lean into it, and Bane seems like a solid kind of level-headed guy. I mean, maybe he would have a good influence on Ja.
Yeah.
So I mean, with that in the bag, maybe it's a better move than I thought.
Okay. Let me go with this one here. I don't like, but I just whatever. Toronto could use him, but it's like that would be
Toronto's got Grady Dick. Toronto smacked around the Bucks last night.
Yeah. Toronto is one of those teams. They're like a bad, decent team to where if you catch them on the right night and you're not all the way there.
It feels like that.
You know what I mean?
Like they have enough on a given night that they could play and beat somebody, but they don't really have enough to do that 50 times in it.
No. Another one here that I just thought was interesting. New Orleans.
Who cares? Him and Zion, the South Carolina boys.
I guess Orlando is the only interesting one I could come up with.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you could, you know what you could have. You could almost like when you had KD, Kyrie, and Harden together. You'll have Zion and Ja, and over 60 remaining or 70 remaining games, they'll play together 8 times.
Zion is out again.
Yeah.
Now, on the Russ thing, what I thought was interesting about Russ, when they just played Denver, and after the game, he was like, I guess they asked him a question. He just come out and said, but he's like, they didn't want me anymore.
Yeah.
They just didn't want me. They didn't offer me. They wanted me to decline my
player option,
my player option and all of that. And then, like you said, you got the thing with the Lakers, and he's like, LeBron is low key trying to trade me the whole time, but smiling in my face, but they were really, he's really trying to get rid of me and get Kyrie back. And you just got, like you said, all these different places. Basically, after his initial OKC run, it's just been a bunch of places that just in the end didn't want him and blamed him for their losses.
Yeah, you've been Houston, the Clippers. Yeah. Now he's with the Kings. I mean, there's a part. I mean, I know what he is as a player. I know it's imperfect as a player, and I know the struggle is even greater as he ages.
Yeah.
But I just have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of done. He's gone to all these places. He's taken the shit from everybody, and he just shows up, keep wanting to play, and keep putting in effort. And again, he still has good moments.
Yeah.
And it's like, I respect the hell out of that guy.
I feel like he had a couple of good moments last year with Denver.
For sure. And I think, to me, what I was going to add when I was talking earlier was that, I just think he's a lot better person than Ja.
Yeah.
And I think that he's genuinely a good person. And I think,
that's what's kept him around.
And people, at the end of the day, they respect him. He's gonna compete. He's not perfect, but he ain't gonna come in here and be an asshole in the locker room or any of that stuff. And he's kind of gone that pathway where, he's like a spare part on these teams from a guy that was an MVP, and an all-star and really one of the better guys at his position for a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little bit of the Vince Carter thing where he just kept playing forever, long after he was anything close to a superstar, all-star, whatever, you perceive Vince Carter at his peak. It didn't matter. He just loved ball and he loved being around it enough to just keep going.
Yeah.
In whatever role that he fit in.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I can't see, to your point there, I can't see Ja like that. But it is funny and interesting how he's kind of entering that phase so early in his career.
For sure.
I see the connection you made there. No, that's for sure. You're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Another NBA story, or just a fact of what it is. The OKC Thunder, they are the only undefeated team in the league. Now, they do play tonight, so by the time you guys see this, on the back end. Maybe they will have lost, but I'm not sure. They play the tonight. They're playing. Who are they playing tonight? They're playing somebody tonight. Oh no. What's today? Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
They're playing the Trailblazers.
Okay.
So you look at it, huh?
That's a dub.
And they've been doing this all without their second best player, Jalen Williams. He hasn't played a game this year. Chet has missed 2 or 3 games this year. And my overall takeaway from the undefeated OKC Thunder is number one, just good luck to the rest of the league. I don't know what you're going to do with this. Number two, like Shea is just he's so unbelievable. He's become underrated. And I know like everyone wants like the next best thing, and I think he's gotten swept under that to where like he's not talked about as the like best player in the league. When you ask someone, it's still either Jokic or they're really quick to bring up like Wemby and again Wemby is phenomenal. He's a unicorn in itself. And these other players, man, but Shea is just he's unbelievable, man. He's unbelievable.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's really good. When I look at OKC now, like the question becomes, do they kind of take this start and say, hey, let's go for 70 plus. Let's try to win 70 plus. And I don't know if they're going to make that decision or not. But I mean, I think the longer they kind of get out of the gate with a really strong start, it kind of probably becomes a thing to go do. Is go chase 70 plus.
The Warriors, I do think they're. I don't know about if chase is the right word. I just think as good as they are and the energy they play with, they're just automatically going to be going for that Golden State record.
I think when I say chase, I think there comes a point when you're kind of like tracking that well, and you if you're doing that, you're going to be several games up on everybody.
Yeah.
And then it kind of becomes, hey, do we start resting guys? Do we kind of chill with guys coming back from minor injuries and just kind of roll the dice? Or do we kind of lock in, go ahead, take everybody's best shot and go try and pump out 72, 73 wins or whatever? That's the challenge. And I don't know how they're going to respond to that. But I think at some point you got to make there'll be a decision time. Fuck it, we're going to go for it. Or, hey, we're cool. We'll end up with 69, 70 wins, and we're focused on the playoffs.
Yeah.
The
You're saying when it gets
the Warriors,
down
it definitely became a thing.
Yeah.
Like at some point they got out of the gate, it starts to become the story, and then they become invested in it, and it's like, yeah, let's get that 72.
The difference that I see with those two teams though are like the Warriors had like guys like well into their prime. To where like those guys would rest and take games, like that was a question, like the Thunder, even when you look at it from the last 2 years, this year, they just do what they do, like Chet does rest games. I mean they have like this maintenance plan for him, like any like Jalen, like I read this article where they asked him like, yeah, if this is a playoff game, Jalen could play now.
Yeah.
But they're just like, so it's like they're so deep. That Warriors team wasn't deep at all.
I understand what you're saying, but there will depending on the pace of this thing, there will be a window of time where it becomes the story.
Yeah.
And every game you play, that's the questions you're being asked.
Yeah.
That's the whatever. Now you could subtly kind of back out of that a little bit, maybe drop some games, rest some guys so that's not what you're talking about every time. Like you could get to a point where like literally the last 30 plus games, every game, that's hey, you're 2 games behind the Warriors pace, or you're actually a game ahead of the Warriors, and that's all you're talking about.
Now, and I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
The conversation piece. Now you're talking about two things.
Yeah.
The conversation piece, that is kind of what it is, because it's it's whatever, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about though is even when and even if and when they do rest the guys, I think that team is like too good to lose those games. I think naturally,
Could be.
I think they're going to be in a situation to challenge that record. Now that's a hell of a 73. That's a hell of a number to get to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, they had to beat the Bulls record to get there, the Warriors.
Yeah.
So you know, we'll see. But I think this is a team that strongly, like, they have the opportunity and the chance to do so, kind of no matter what plan they do, because they're just so fucking deep. I love guys like Carson. I love what's my guy name? The funny looking white guy. That's what I say. That yeah, my defensive piece, I call him the funny looking white guy. But Caruso, like all of these guys, these deep bench guys who just comes in. Case and Wallace. I'm sorry, I call him Carson, I think. But Case and Wallace, all those guys, I really love those guys. The other Jalen.
I think he's a bum.
Huh?
I think he's a bum.
I don't think he's a bum. It's funny because that's going to be my next topic. Not Jalen, but the bum thing. Yeah. But I think he's really good for the role that they have him in. Like he's a hustle guy. You know what I mean? And he's a effective hustle guy. You know, when Jalen on the Sixers becomes that was such a good reference. He becomes what's our girl's name? Her cousin.
Paul Reed.
He becomes Paul Reed. You know what I mean? Becomes a guy who's going to get traded the next day because they need him to do more. No. But on OKC, like, we literally just need you to run around and just be in the way and get key rebounds, and that's all we need you to do.
Well, but
you know what I mean?
But that's kind of my point. Is in the ecosystem of OKC, he basically gets a pass for being a good vibes hustle guy.
Yeah.
Anything outside of that, he's just a fucking bum.
Possibly, most likely.
That's what I got my money on.
Possibly,
and as you
most
can
likely.
attest, I'm right on a lot of shit.
I'm not taking a strong stance left or right on it because I understand. Now, what's funny because I wanted to transition into
bums,
something like that.
All right.
I'm not sure if you caught Draymond Green's. He was on a podcast recently.
What did he say?
And he said that Dak Prescott was a bum. And so that's gotten a lot of traction. I think that was just like yesterday, a day or two ago. And it's gotten a lot of traction. People are talking about it. And it was somewhat alarming because, like, you don't see, even though it's across sports, you don't really see professional guys calling another professional guy like a bum or really calling him out, like, not too active players, not an active player.
If somebody's gonna do it, Draymond's probably among your top couple of choices. I mean, for real,
especially in a cross sport situation.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you got some, then you got people. Oh, wait, Draymond, he's a bum, and this and that. And my thing is, and then Draymond on that same show, he kind of clarified to where he's like saying, well, I know that Dak can play, but I'm saying when it comes down to it, when the game is most important, when the stakes are the most high, Dak is a bum. Like, he doesn't perform in those games.
Right.
And
Draymond can say, like, largely he does. Like, that's
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that's like, shrunk during championship runs and stuff like that.
No. I think that fans, I think the typical basketball fan, the box score sheet watcher, the player props guys.
Yeah.
They don't respect Draymond at the level that they should. But I'll always say this,
and I don't respect those guys. I don't.
Draymond is like, he's one of my top 5 like defenders of all time. He like, Draymond in his prime, and even still now, I mean, he's nuts. Like 1 through 5, like nuts with it. To be able to switch, I wouldn't say 1 through 5. I would say he's a highly switchable big is the term I would use.
Well, that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, like, how much communication he
does. He quarterbacks the whole thing.
And quarterbacks the whole defense.
Yeah.
And then how many times, like, in some of the bigger Warrior runs and games, like, he's getting steals and slapaways that
he's in the middle of that, and that's just on his superhero side, the defense. Yeah. But even on offense, he's their, he's their initiator of the offense. He's their ball handler. Think about this. He's the big, and he's their ball handler, initiator. He's one of the best screeners in the game, top 3 screeners in the game. Yeah. Like a lot of those Steph shots are coming off of Draymond screens or assists or
for sure,
initial ball movement. So and that's not even on his superhero side, which is the defensive side of the ball, which he has all of these accolades for. So that's the Draymond side. Now I do think Dak is not a bum. Dak Prescott is not a bum. Like we can't just go out calling, because there are actual bums. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my thing. Like there are actual bums. Like if Dak Prescott, is a bum, then what are some of these other guys? That's my thing.
There just be a lot of different kinds of bums.
No. It's not these different kind of. We don't have San Francisco bums and then Orlando bums.
There's the mental health bum. There's the I got addicted to crack bum. There's the I lost my wife and can't get over it bum. There's a lot of different kinds of bums.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dak is I think Dak is a solid quarterback. He's just a guy I wouldn't want quarterbacking my team. Especially at the price tag.
And that says it all.
Yeah, I understand.
Like he has had his fingerprints all over bad playoff performances, bad clock management. Mm-hmm. I'm comfortable calling him a bum, and I'm especially comfortable with the sense of basically what you just summarized. I don't want him as my quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, what else matters? like in all seriousness, what else when you are defining players? I don't want him as my quarterback is pretty big in what you feel about the guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Unless you look at it from the glass half full, which is what happened? There's 20 really damn good quarterbacks in the league. It's not like,
Well, Dak has a very particular profile in the league. And again, he's put up some impressive statistical
he has some numbers now.
But he's exceptional in failure.
He has one of those careers where it's going to be if he continues and tracks, it's going to be interesting when his career is over, because he's going to have Hall of Fame statistics
for sure.
You know what I mean?
And not any playoff success.
Right, if it tracks,
and that's a big part of the equation. That's why I say he has a unique position, because assuming a lengthy career, he'll probably break the top 20, if not 15, in yardage and touchdowns that stuff.
Yeah.
But with the playoff failure, and again, a lot of it is comes down to him not coming through in some situations. That's his resume, and it's unique. How many guys play that long, accumulate those type of stats, and kind of win nothing? Matt Ryan?
Phil Rivers?
Yeah.
Yeah, short list.
And
when I say anything, I mean anything.
Yeah.
At least Dan got to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I'm saying,
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I mean, I understand it, but bum is strong. And for him to be in the NBA, it was shocking to hear him say that, because I saw the clip. I was like, whoa.
But again, it's Draymond, and he's you talked about his attributes on both sides of the ball, but he has defined himself as a winner and a guy who delivers when it matters, and a guy that doesn't. He's the antithesis of Dak Prescott, in the sense that he has multiple championships. He's traditionally shown up in the big moments. But if you look at his stats, they don't look like a Hall of Fame player. They are literally opposites in their profession.
That's interesting. I mean, that's the truth. It's that's a good point. Yeah. Through and through.
Yeah.
So I guess if anybody was going to make it,
he's the guy.
It would be
Yeah.
There you go. That's nice, man. Let's keep it going here. I have a couple of. Let's do a couple of these quick things here. Okay. let's start here. I'm going to start here because this is my guy. Really quick here. I just want to talk about the album that Kodak Black has released. Oh, yes. Okay. And you know what's funny is we were talking about Kodak a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks, a month or whatever, and I was like, hey, his last project or two hasn't been that good, and you got this going on and that going on, and he's on these videos. He looks halfway high, but I know he's kidding, but I don't know if he's actually. I'm not there. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, what's going on here? Let's get back to the main thing. You know what I'm saying? But this project, man, is really like amazing. And in Kodak's line of work, it's one of his best albums. It's one song on there that I've been playing. I no lie, I probably played it about 200-300 times, and the album just came out on Friday.
Damn.
Yeah. And it's just amazing, man. You see, I put on there. I wish we had the damn TV thing still right there. That's throwing me off a little bit. So please excuse me there. But I put on there the name of the song, which is Prison Deform, and that's just it's funny because I said it's one of the greatest songs of my generation, man. And I love how at the end of the song, he basically was just talking about everything. Like, he did the song, and then he just was plainly talking about everything. And I wanted to take a second to talk about this, because what's important about that is he received so much flack about everything regarding about him taking money to do the big song with the guy who snitched, receiving the pardon from Trump, and all of his antics and things like that. And he pretty much just explained himself and some things that I didn't even know. Like for example, I didn't know that he had a relationship with Jay-Z. And in this song he's saying like, hey, and Jay-Z, he reached out to me, put me on to perform at his shows. He reached out to me to come to his birthday party. And basically what he's saying is, when I was hot, Jay-Z put me on shows, invite me to his birthday party because my face is good. I'm hot. He wants the hot young guy around. Yeah. But as soon as I'm in trouble and I need help, Jay-Z's not there. He's talking about Meek Mill, when Meek Mill was huge, he was like the biggest face of hip hop of prison reform and about making it better and doing this and doing that. But and him and Kodak formed a good relationship, and I remember them taking pictures and videos and talking. And he was like, "Yeah, Meek Mill was like my big brother." But when I, got locked up and the COs was beating up on me, and I was showing my bruises and scars and all I was trying to do was get to a different prison, Meek Mill left me on red. He wouldn't even return and he's talking about, okay, so all of the black people of power I reached out to wouldn't help me, that I had a relationship with. It's not like these are people that I didn't even know. And so, yeah, okay. So Trump pardoned me. What y'all want me to do? I reached out to the black people first. Black Lives Matter and all of these other folks, and nobody was returning my phone calls. What the fuck do y'all want me to do? Stay in prison and fucking get killed by these people? So I loved how he talked through that, because nobody knew that. I didn't know that. And I'm fucking Kodak stan. I didn't know he fucking knew Jay-Z. You know what I mean? So anyway, enough of that. I just thought that was interesting. Let's see here. Another one here. Paul and Tank. Did you see that? The fight got canceled.
Yeah.
So Jake Paul and Tank Davis, the fight has been canceled. It was coming up real soon. Paul, all I've seen was that Paul went on his social media and basically was just selling Tank out. Saying, oh, this is he's a piece of shit, piece of garbage, and this is.
Well, he had a domestic violence thing.
But he knew that. I thought he knew that ahead of time. Oh, was this really recent?
Oh, no. I thought there was a relatively recent domestic violence
another
incident.
One, maybe.
I thought it was recent. I may be wrong, and that's when everything unraveled. Because then then there was okay, is the fight still going to go forward? A little doubt. And then Paul kind of stood on it and said, hey, this guy's a piece of shit, this, that. I'm not doing the fight with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, even though you're not a Paul guy, of course, as far as boxing and stuff like that, if that is how that went down, do you gain a little respect for him? A little more respect?
No.
No.
No, why would I?
I mean, I guess, you don't want to give. I don't know.
That he's anti-domestic violence?
Yeah.
So am I. We're brothers, man. It's just not that important. Like, he's doing this. Made the decision to cancel the fight, which he's entitled to do. It doesn't gain any respect from me because he hasn't changed what he's gonna do. A little bit of time will pass and he'll find somebody else to have the fake fight with, and he'll make more money. It's not like, I'd have more. I don't even, at this point, I don't think I'd have any respect for him. Death or otherwise. Because you've literally just built this career on bullshit. Yeah. It's like, even what do you do? You come out and do an interview and say, hey, man, I got to admit, I kind of put one over on everybody. Am I respect him for admitting it after he's made billions of dollars out of it? No. I just don't respect what he's done. I mean, what I would respect, honestly, is if he went into the conventional boxing or MMA lane, worked its way up to a title shot, and won a title under totally normal circumstances. I would respect that. And I've actually kind of hinted at that before. I'm like, this guy has dedicated his life to fighting. Yeah. Because he chooses this get the bag route of fighting these oddball, old man, former MMA guy, young guy that's 70 pounds lighter than me, all this circus shit. Like, I don't respect that. Yeah. But he's put time in. He's probably a fairly competent fighter. And if he were to kind of go into a normal weight class and, beat some contending guys in the confines of a weight class, yeah, I'd have to respect that. Yeah. But he ain't going to do it. No. But, Davis, like, wasn't he kind of foreshadowing retirement anyway? And then he takes the Paul fight, and now he has this thing with the domestic violence, which undoes the Paul fight. Like, he's not on a good pathway. No. At all. No. And he's a guy, like, he's a talented fighter, but, like, I've never heard him say anything worth listening to. Yeah. So, I think, maybe it all unravels for him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Honestly, I don't think it will. I think he rides out the domestic violence thing and re-enters the ring because he needs money a year from now. Not necessarily Jake Paul, but fight. Maybe he beats up. What's the other crazy guy? The Hispanic guy, Ryan Garcia.
Oh, Garcia.
Maybe he beats him up again or something like that. I just again, you have to think, like, losing the payday of the Paul fight, and whatever this domestic violence charge entails, and however it works out. He'll probably get hit with a civil suit too from the victim.
I'm sure of it.
So he'll be under some financial strain over the next several months, and the only way for him to get it back is to do a fight. Yeah. So he'll be back.
I just saw this Lakers and Spurs tonight. That's going to be a late one though.
Late? Okay.
Want to try to stay up and watch it? That's interesting.
I got to run some errands after this, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I got to go pick up Camden's car.
Oh, man.
He's back on tour. But actually...
Wemby and Luka, that's a...
No, which when I run the errands, I'll probably be, like, a little wired, and then I'll probably end up watching a good chunk of the game.
At least the first half, first quarter.
Well, no, I'll probably be finished with errands around halftime, so I might watch a little bit more.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Well, I'll get you out of here. Don't let me hold you out.
I was going to have to make a quick exit either way. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move it along here since Pink has to go. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Another really quick one here. I saw this on Facebook. I have two I saw on Facebook. I'm going to do them back to back. This one, though, is just a movie thing. That's why I wish we did have the TV, but I'm going to explain to you. So they're saying top Chris Tucker movies. One has to go. Okay? So you got Rush Hour 1. You got Rush Hour 2. You got Friday. And you got Money Talks. Okay? Now my thing is, I love fucking Money Talks. Now, most people on here is talking about Money Talks as to go, but I love Money Talks. Money Talks is one of the earliest works we actually saw Chris Tucker. He was hilarious in it, and I love the storyline. And it got the other white guy. I forgot his name. But he's a big.
You're gonna say your other white guy.
I keep saying that. I know, right? But I'm talking to the crowd, not you. But anyway,
I don't think most of our listeners are white.
Friday, just you can't go away with Friday. So we're talking about one of the rush hours. I think
it's got to be 2. The second you read it, I said rush hour 2.
Yeah.
Well, because it's just a lot. You have to get rid of 1.
Yeah, right.
And by doing it that way, I have all the other 3 separate characters, 3 separate films.
Yeah.
Like I'm not duplicating the same role and cutting a different original character.
Yeah.
So to me, that's fairly easy.
It is. Now, what's tricky about that is because a lot of people think that Rush Hour 2 is the best one out of all of them. That's the tricky part there. But the Rush Hour 1 is the original. Is the you got the little Chinese girl. The funny line that she had there. I'm sorry if she's not Chinese, or I'll say Oriental because I'm not 100% sure on that.
Or Asian.
Yeah. Oriental, Asian. Yeah. There you go.
But I just think that's the easiest way to do it, where we don't have to cut a character.
I wonder how she looks now.
The Asians hold up quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not predatory of me, right? Because she's an adult now.
Presumably she's in.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Let's move past that because I don't know. I guess that's a gray
Some
area.
murky waters.
That's a gray area, and I don't think the public is ready to discuss things like that yet. All right.
You could just be like, it's like you're a scout, like you.
No.
You saw LeBron in middle school and you knew what he might become.
I don't think they're ready for that type of conversation. All right.
They may not be.
Another really quick one here. I'm not sure if you have anything on it because there's just no way to. But the Florida Gators basketball team, they're looking to repeat. Of course, college basketball season is back. A lot of these teams are playing. They've actually added.
They lost their opener.
Already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost to Arizona.
Let me see this real quick. I want to see if my guy played. Because they picked up a legend and one of their sons. I'm gonna see if they played. Hold on, really quick here. Why is it so hard to bring up? Oh, there, college basketball. And then I'm gonna go to the mighty SEC here, Southeastern.
The mighty.
And let me see if he played. Now, did you watch that game at all?
No, I didn't see it. I was busy that night.
Obviously, I didn't either. I really don't even pay attention to college basketball until, January, February. I'll tuck my head in there.
No, one of my coworkers, he watched the game. Arizona, 5-star guy, Koa Pete had 30 plus points, and Arizona won. Yeah. The other thing, I don't know if
Arizona's they're a top ranked team.
I don't know if Bryce James played
for Arizona.
Game. Yeah,
Bryce did not play.
DNP-CD.
What is going on with that?
He's not very good.
He's supposed to be better than Bronny.
He ain't very good.
You don't think he's that good?
If you played the opening game of the season and you're not in the rotation, you take a DNP-CD, you're not very good.
The legend's son, he played.
Who's the legend? Who are we talking about?
Ingram. So CJ Ingram is the son's now. And what's interesting about that is we wanted him to play football. I actually saw him play football.
Yeah,
so
I remember a long time ago you went up.
Yeah. Well, not a long time. Yeah. But what was it, like a year ago now?
Time flies.
I went to the playoff game, Hawthorne versus versus Williston. I have a lot of family in Williston, and he was the quarterback. Well, he was everything. He was the quarterback. He played linebacker. He played cornerback. But he was he's a physical specimen. But they told me at the game that he's better at basketball. He's going to be going to Florida Gators to play basketball and not football.
Nice. So what did he do in the game? You have a decent stat line?
Oh, he only played 11 minutes.
Okay.
But he did score. He had scored a 3-pointer, rebound, and assist. Okay. Yeah, but Bryce did not play. Let me a quick Google on that to see.
Tells you all you need to know.
Does it? Maybe he's injured.
Then it'll probably be designated in the box score as injured.
Okay, why Bryce James isn't playing? Okay, more for Arizona. Let's see. They take floor. Bryce and his Arizona teammates will take floor. Yep. And I see the floor. If the Wildcats lone exhibition against, because he didn't play in the exhibition game against St. Mary's,
when nothing was at stake,
he may be out of the rotation.
I think we can conclude that he is out of the rotation.
Bryce may have to watch and learn. That is interesting. A season ago, he averaged 8 points and 4 rebounds a game for Sierra Canyon. That doesn't sound interesting.
You're a senior going to a Division I school, averaging 8 and 4. Come on, man. Come on.
That hurt me because I this whole time I've been coming with this thought process, and he still could be better than Bronny. I guess that's not like a big
unlikely
barometer.
Unlikely.
But right now it's looking
when you're
unlikely.
an 8 and 4 guy in high school.
Yeah, but it's like I heard those numbers are a little funny when at those
you're playing other guys, but like
you know what I mean.
But again, you're still not like doing much of anything.
Yeah, I know.
And then you're gonna go to Arizona and do what? Not much of anything.
So you think Arizona, because Arizona is a prominent college basketball power. Right. You think they got him more so for the headlines than the actual play?
It appears that way.
Because they have elite scouts. I mean,
yeah, it appears that way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just, it is what it is.
Okay.
So, but shout out to Florida State basketball. Okay. They won their first regular season game. Luke Laux, the new head coach.
Yeah.
Former member of Pedro's posse.
That's his first game.
First official game.
Yeah, first official.
Yeah. So he's out with a win. The boys seem to like him. They doused him in water and whatever when he entered the locker room after the win. So
we should have did what we could to get him on during the off season.
Yeah, maybe we still can.
Yeah. Hopefully we still can.
But yeah, no, I'm happy for him. He's a really good guy, and I hope he can get Florida State basketball rolling. No,
for sure. They've had their times now. Yeah. Florida State basketball, that's for sure.
And the Boozer son, he did it well in his opening game.
Yeah, in the exposition game, he looked like Wilt Chamberlain. I mean,
for real?
It was like he had like 20, almost 30 something rebounds.
I think they beat Texas the other day in a regular season game.
But he's supposedly he's like a high lottery pick already. Yeah. They're projecting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's good. Good college basketball's back.
Yeah.
UConn won.
Women's and men's.
It's concerned about the boys, but if you want to bring that up,
hey, Armiana. How do you say his name? The coach?
Dan Hurley?
No. The women's.
Oh, Gino.
Yeah.
My dad's a huge Gino guy. He's like enamored with Gino. If my dad needed a life coach, like he would probably try to get Gino to do it.
Let's go here, okay? I want you to kind of set this up. The Democrats' clean sweep of 3 elections here. It's sort of like really hot in the news. What is the importance of this? That people, just explain just kind of what happened here over the last couple of days.
Okay, so in California, Gavin Newsom, who's the governor, he's been taking shots at Trump for a while now. There was a vote on what was called Prop 50, and it passed. The public voted for it, which will allow them to gerrymander, change the districts to create more Democratic representatives out of California to the House of Representatives. Now, some of the Republican states have one of the Republican weapons forever has been gerrymandering and suppressing voter turnout. That's their playbook. Is they don't get they discourage people from voting, and they jack around with the districts so that you can get as many Republicans elected as possible. And I know Texas and some other states were talking about doing it. Some may have potentially done some stuff. Newsom's like, hold my beer. We're going to change it here. And that passed on that ballot yesterday. So they have the ability to do that, to maybe change the balance of power in the House of Representatives. Senators, you get 2 from your state. Every state gets 2. There's 100 total, so you can't really do it there. It's more impactful in the House of Representatives, where you have representatives based on the population of your state. So California would have a lot, and if they screw around the districting so that like you can get a super high percentage of those being Republican or Democrats, it can change the balance of power in the House of Representatives. So that was a big win. There was, I believe it's the governor of Virginia, is a female. She's a Democrat. First female governor, I think, in the history of the state. Interestingly, though, she did beat a black female Republican. So there was going to be a female governor of
no matter what,
of Virginia, no matter what, but it is a Democrat. And then the big one is Mondani in New York City.
New York.
And he's a Muslim guy. He has a lot of progressive liberal ideas that even liberals are not comfortable with. But he kind of developed like this grassroots momentum that became a thing in the city. And what he's campaigning on really is a change in quality of life for people in the city. And the city is tremendously diverse. I mean, you have people from everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
And he's kind of ran on a platform of like legitimate inclusion and progressive thought and progressive legislation to really raise the quality of life for everybody in the city. The fire chief of New York City has resigned in the wake of the election. So,
because he didn't like it.
Of course,
Okay.
Now, and this is a guy this guy won a primary, and it was kind of like an upset at the time, but it evidenced like a grassroots vibe that like a lot of people are frustrated with the status quo. They're even frustrated with what you would consider like the traditional Democratic Party and ideology, which for a lot of people, particularly black people as well, they've never done enough. Like they've basically gotten minority votes against a racist party, but not done anything really to earn them, other than say, hey, these guys are racist as hell. You're foolish to go for them, but they haven't delivered on the promise of much. And Mandami's platform is much more in the idea of we're really going to try to change some things. Let's see if he can or not. But when he won the primary, a lot of the Democrats didn't, race to endorse him. They were kind of like, he's a little too threatening to the status quo. And so it'll be interesting to see.
Now, do you think he has potential for like?
Here's the thing. One of his things is he said, and this is not typical of a mayor of New York, but he's saying he's not recognizing Israel, which is a hot topic, and he openly supports Hamas. And mayors of cities in the United States have no obligation to say these things. So it does suggest that he's running or contemplating like a broader campaign, potentially, maybe Senate, maybe presidential. I'm not 100% sure, but you're not going around taking on those issues and making public statements about them if you don't have an eye outside of New York City.
You think he could? I mean, it's so early. I guess you have to see how he performs.
Right now he's the mayor-elect.
I know.
He hasn't even done anything.
I know. So you have to see.
You'll have to see. But again, it was a good night for Democratic politics. That's the Republicans.
That's the takeaway.
That's the big takeaway.
Okay.
And with Biden, just being an old dude, Kamala being pushed in late without really like an open contest for that spot. There was a disappointment in Democratic Party politics that they don't have anything.
Yeah.
They don't have any plans of attack, and the whole time the Republicans have been fighting a different fight, far more aggressive, no holds barred and blatant. And really, I think that Gavin Newsom's probably the face of sort of the aggressive fighting back on some of this stuff, but it's gotten people's attention. I think more is now expected of the Democratic Party to actually be aggressive and be cutthroat and kind of fight gun to gun, knife to knife, not, hey, we're fighting with hands and you guys got guns. So it's a good sign. And I think, again, when you're going for, almost more like radical thinking, progressive thinking politicians, and they're getting that type of support, it kind of speaks better than just kind of going with another moderate Democrat who's not Trump.
Exactly.
And so that's the thing. But there's still a lot of heavy lifting to do to get that guy out of there. But I think last night was a positive.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see where that goes. I like catching, it's just far as myself, like those guys early on in the process. I felt like I caught Bernie kind of, at least before he was going to make his presidential run. So I don't know. I like catching those guys kind of earlier on before they make and just see like where they came from. Like sure. Now I'm going to be paying attention to this guy as a mayor, seeing what he passes, what difference does he makes as he rises the ranks. And so when he does actually run for president, I could be like, hey, well, yeah, I do remember when he first got to become a mayor of New York and he made all of these new and bright changes there. So
I don't say this lightly. Like, he probably is on assassination watch
because
of who he is and how he goes about this.
Oh wow! Yeah.
He's walking an aggressively progressive path.
Oh wow!
And so
I gotta tap in. Yeah, see what's.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. The funny thing is another guy that I kind of caught my attention in a documentary I watched years ago was Cory Booker.
Okay.
And about a month ago, he got just absolutely eviscerated by this lady on a podcast because he could not refuse to say anything critical of Israel. And she put it to him, like, direct questions, and he danced and dodged and did all this stuff, and he looked horrible. And he was a guy, by politician standards, he's not an old guy, but he's a Democrat. He's been an aggressive voice. He got some buzz. He did like a big filibuster speech for like 20 hours or something a couple months ago. But I almost feel like that he faced his own political death in that podcast.
Yeah.
Because he just, you want to ostensibly be a figure of change and getting away from what we're dealing with, and you don't have the balls to just say, like, yeah, I think what's going on is wrong. Like, you're not the guy.
No.
You're Dak Prescott.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's I have two other quick ones here. Okay. Let me make sure I find it here. Okay. One is another Facebook post. So we're running it back week to week here.
I like the Facebook post.
There you go. So this is another it's another woman here, Janisha. Shout out to Janisha. She says, "Can we admit that casual sex is ruining the dating world / relationships? Everything is so accessible that no one is putting in the effort to date. They just giving it out." Can you admit it? Can you admit that casual sex is ruining the dating world?
No, I don't think it's ruining the dating world. I think that there is a legitimate crossroads of what people bring to the table and what they want. And I think that I don't think casual sex is the enemy. I think that there's deeper issues between traditional gender roles and relationships and expectations and gender equality. And I think that that's the root of a lot of conflict that we have. And I think from the man's perspective, women can kind of vacillate between the two roles. They can be the strong, independent woman, don't need this, don't need that, I got myself. But when it suits them, they can strategically fall into a traditional role with these expectations of the man providing this, that, and the other thing. And I think men are frustrated with that and don't want the hassle of a deep investment in another person where it goes wrong. When you deeply invest in somebody, under the law, it becomes your finances, it becomes, really your whole life is at stake. And when you kind of put yourself in that spot, it's a spot of great vulnerability. And when it goes wrong, like, you generally don't want to go down that path again. And if you've been around enough people and close enough to them that they speak with candor about their situations, you can hear enough stories to be like, I don't want to be in that position. And I think, so I think women or men are in some ways kind of like scaling back from kind of offering the world. And I think women are kind of on some level frustrated by that because it's maybe not coming as easily. And that whole like invest the time and whatever. It's like, dude, I'm not trying to invest anything. Like, I'm not. Like, what is the investment? I'll invest in you with attention and fancy dates until we fuck. And then when we fuck, it's good for a while. And then it's kind of like you get a little bit tighter with the blowjobs and a little bit tighter with this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, what am I investing in? You invest on things that give you a positive return, not a negative return.
So, yeah, I definitely agree with you in the sense of casual sex is not ruining relationships and dating. Other things are ruining dating relationships. A lot of what you listed out a name there.
Yeah.
Her beef.
But casual, kind of like at the end of the day, we each have sexual needs.
Yes.
And if we're not getting them from this, if we're not involved in these serious relationships, we still need to service those needs.
But the you know what the thing is though, women would make you believe that they don't need the casual sex from men.
For sure.
And
they
that's
just want
the thing.
something meaningful.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's all you want, but I don't need this. Like, you need this, I don't need this.
Well, and then they monetize it. They monetize it.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, like, I would put casual sex in a very like kind of like positive place in the sense that it's like it's two people that are attracted to each other, two people that are enjoying a sexual time together. It's not about, hey, I just took you to the Bahamas for the weekend and you're going to actually put out with a good effort, or we just went to the big steakhouse and you're going to, kind of put in a bit of a better
You said
effort.
You don't put it in that bucket?
I don't put casual sex in that bucket. I put casual sex in a positive way.
In a positive way.
That the rest is prostitution. That's not casual sex. It's a transaction. No, it's not. It is a transaction.
Transactional sex.
Yeah.
Versus
it's a different
casual
category.
Sex. I mean, people can quibble with my definition.
Yeah. But I'm using casual sex to distinguish and say this is sex where two people have an attraction and they just do something about it.
Yeah.
And transactional sex / prostitution, that is the sex that's connected to you providing something for somebody.
And I think a lot of that is what's going on.
For sure.
And like you said, it muddies the water with the casual sex. I would like it if we can make that discernment and separate that, because it is a difference. And not only is it a difference, you'll come away thinking about it differently.
But you definitely come away thinking differently.
Feeling, yeah.
That it's just like, okay, well, if I just did this, whatever it was, if we did this big date night or we did this take you out of town thing, it's like, and then I see like the effort that you put in, it's like, this is not about me. This is connected to the fact that we're at the nice hotel or we're at the whatever, or we just did this. This is not about me.
Yeah.
Where what I would put more in a casual sex bucket is it's like, it is about you. Yeah. And it's about her. And we're having fun because we have a desire to have fun. Yeah. And then you have the relationship thing, which is like you are attracted to a person, you see, hopefully some significant kind of common core values, and you want them to be a consistent part of your life in a meaningful way. That's the relationship path.
I mean, I'm not breaking news here, but I don't find anything wrong with casual sex.
Yeah, you're not breaking anything. Here you go, Walter Cronkite. And now we bring to you.
But yeah. I'm going to move away from this topic. But you know what's funny about that is I think I've heard you say this before. I hate those sports announcers and those commentators and writers who just only state the super fucking obvious.
Yeah.
Like Bleacher Report has these things, and there'll be alerts on my phone, and it'll be like, and they'll have interesting headlines that'll make you click or whatever. and it's like huge Philadelphia 76ers news, and it'll be this guy on there saying, Joel Embiid, he may play tonight, he may not play tonight. That's the breaking news for today. Like, fucking duh.
Yeah, I,
like,
know,
what?
yeah. I knew that when I woke up.
I knew that. It's like, come on, man, you guys are getting paid whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Back in my day, man, you had to do some real journalism work, man.
But it's just about getting traffic on your stuff.
Yeah,
and it's not about the substance.
It's
like,
not about it.
I've seen plenty of those, and then the other ones that kill me is like you'll have a catchy headline, and then when you turn to it, it's like it's informational, but it's something that is just extracted from a larger article that was done well.
Yeah.
Like ESPN may do a longer piece on Kurt Signetti of Indiana, and then it's just like, then you'll say Signetti contemplating, this, that, or the other thing, and it extracts like one paragraph from like a 4,000 word piece on him, and it makes that seem like that. It's like, dude, that's terrible, man.
It's awful. It's awful. Okay, I'm glad we got that out of the way.
I just love about moving on from that topic.
No, that was interesting. Okay, no, that does it for what I actually had for the show here.
All
okay, just a really quick here. 76ers dropped 2 in a row. We had a back-to-back tonight. Of course, nobody played tonight. Played the Cavs. I thought it was interesting that our guy Jared McCain came back before Paul George.
I did not expect him to be back. I was I did
that
a
was
double
surprising.
take. I'm like, oh, that's McCain.
That was
he
surprising.
he looked tough though. He looked like he's not
Out of
moving
sorts.
real well.
Yeah.
I guess obviously want to come back and kind of be a part of things, but he definitely didn't look himself yet.
Yeah, maybe it's gonna take a few games there.
Because he was not. He's not like a super athletic guy.
Either anyway.
But he does have a certain like bounce to him when he's right. Mm-hmm. And that really you kind of almost felt him dragging that leg around to try and be out there and contribute. So, but I hope he comes back. He's an interesting guy, but to me, good for the league. Even if he's not a star, like if he gets back to being just a good NBA player, I'm happy for him. I hope he does.
I really hope he does. Now I think he's a guy that we have to move eventually. I mean, our guard, only because of the guard depth on the team.
Yeah.
But I do like him as a player though.
Yeah. Unless he just kind of settles in as like being a bench glue guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if it just that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, like a TJ or something like that, then that's fine. Yeah, for sure. But if he has something more than that.
Yeah.
Houston beating up on Memphis. Houston is going to be it's going to be a solid team, man, all year. I read this thing where they it was an opinion, but I think it might be a fact. They said that Amen Thompson is the best per athlete in the league. I think that's interesting. I mean, because he is like he's an
exceptional athlete.
He's an exceptional athlete.
Yeah.
And so
it's
that's
funny because you don't like. It is funny in basketball. It's kind of interesting to quantify that.
It is.
You don't. Football has your kind of combine type stuff, but that still doesn't tell the whole story.
Right.
Because you have your forward speed. You have your leaping ability, you have your quickness, you have your longer sprint speed, you have your deceleration and lateral mobility. All of that is kind of part of the package. And then also to that, you kind of have that element of like sort of like athletic coordination that like enables you to do okay, you can jump high, but there's a different skill set to like take the bad alley-oop pass and turn it into a clean dunk.
Right.
The hand-eye, just the flexibility or whatever that goes into that. There's something there that's a little different.
And I just looked this up. I just looked this up. Not looked it, but I just looked this up. I wanted to make sure. All three of the young guys that are a part of their staple, one guy you don't like, I know it's Jabari, but Jabari, Sengun, and Amen, all three guys have improved from points, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage from last year to this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just that's exactly what you want from your young players and your young core players.
Yeah.
My
clear up though. My thing with Jabari is I think he was taking 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I to me he never had star quality on him. I think he can be a competent role player, but I just think he's a little bit limited dimension guy.
And see, and my thing was, because I've been a Jabari guy, it's my thing. I knew and he's not yet, but I just knew he could become a star role player. And I think those guys are so important to where if you have a foundational piece, I think that's okay to take high. Now at that time, you didn't really know if you had a foundational piece or not.
Well, no,
and
to go with that, like when that pick was made, you're picking a guy to be the cornerstone of a relatively poor Rockets team.
Yeah.
Since then, you've had the getting Sengun and watching his development to like he's a legitimate all-star guy.
Yeah.
And Thompson is an exceptional freak of nature.
Yeah.
And then you've got KD there, so it's like, basically. Jabari Smith from the 3 pick has become exactly what you thought he would be, which is a high-end role player.
Yeah, shoot threes, play defense.
4th, 5th guy on a good team.
There you go.
And again, a lot of people don't get that chance.
No. A lot of guys die. A lot of guys you need to be
or you have
Aaron
to change,
Gordon in Orlando.
Or you have to change your location like Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
It's funny though. I saw a montage of Jokic passes the other day. It was like 10 of his best passes. 8 of those ones went to Aaron Gordon. For real, like no lie.
And I bet you there was
And I remember Draymond saying like 2 years ago is that like you don't understand how good Aaron Gordon's hands are, and when he's in these positions how he just like he never mishandles the ball. He always finishes those plays that Jokic finds him. It's just, it always happens. It's like he doesn't ever screw those up. It's kind of funny. But that is.
You just talk about a guy who just got extremely, I don't know if lucky is the word, but I mean, he just found the perfect place and system and player as far as Jokic to play with over there. Yeah. And he started this season off like on extreme fire.
He had a 50-point game. He had a 50 point. I think he was 10 of 11 on 3-point shots.
Yeah, man.
That's insane.
It's insane to say, man.
Yeah. Insane
to say. Jaylen Brown, he strikes another guy. His hairline, the spray hairline thing.
Once you're outed for that,
you can't go back to that.
You should just stop.
You can't go back to that.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And damn, what's our comedian name, man? We did a segment on him a couple of weeks ago. The very funny Drewski. Drewski did one on him.
Oh, did he?
About the spray on hairline guy, and he was so extra with it, but it was fucking hilarious. He's crazy. Like Jaylen Brown, be like, and so once you do that to a guy on the court, you got a comedian making skits about it. You can't go back to that. You got to find something else.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to do something else, man.
Just shave it, man.
Man. It's okay. Ebony says, "Wow, this has been an enlightening discussion." And she's talking about I asked her what about, she said about the casual sex and stuff. So appreciate that.
That's funny.
My last take NBA was that was good on Houston. And the Knicks whooped up on the Timberwolves.
Okay.
And they have essentially the same record, but Anthony Edwards kind of struggled tonight. And then on the other side, you have Anunoby leading the Knicks in scoring.
Okay. Cleveland hasn't had a great start.
No, they beat us tonight off their back-to-back. But no, Cleveland not as what you would think. You would think because Cleveland is one of those teams where they're in a week in the East. I know they've been disappointing in the playoffs up to date, but they bring the whole band back. You're looking to really be number 1 or 2 in the East and just. And really establish dominance.
Yeah, for sure.
And get it done this year.
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely. Hasn't really gone that way.
No, it hasn't really gone that way. Donovan dropped 46 tonight. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
But we'll see. What they do here. All right. That's good. Good show.
All right.
Next week though, I'm off.
You're off. Uh-oh.
going to be going for a week, man. Going on a cruise.
No, a cruise.
Going on a cruise, man.
All right, we'll have to work without you.
But hopefully next week we'll be back on the bench.
All right, sounds good. Where are you cruising to?
It's a bunch of different little places, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
like one of those things. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
but we leave on Saturday. So technically, I'm most likely going to miss
The game.
the next two.
The next two.
Because we leave on Saturday, come back on Saturday.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But
Well, wait. You're leaving this Saturday?
I'm leaving next